Hi, my name is Jordan and welcome to the channel. So the last week has been the most historical moment in crypto that many people have compared it to. If you have no idea what BitConnect is a high-yield investment program that was launched in 2016 and committed fraud with their business model. So BitConnect defrauded an estimated $2 billion from the US investors alone, which is a lot of money, and if we are looking at Luna's downfall right now, it's a staggering $25 billion. So these numbers looks really big, but to put it into perspective, here is what $25 billion looks like. So with $25 billion, you can jolly well team up with Elon Musk to be 50% shareholder of Twitter. You can also purchase FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Liverpool FC, and Manchester City, which is the top 6 most expensive teams of 2021. So in short, $25 billion is a lot of money. And this goes without saying that plenty of people lost a substantial sum of money with Luna and UST altogether. It's also reported in the papers that the crash of Luna led to concerns with suicidal ideation and a man breaking into Do Kwon's house in Korea. But in today's video, we're not going to talk about what the crash is, how it has affected others, but look into the revival plan that Do Kwon have. So after the crash happened, Do Kwon was silent on Twitter for a while, but has since released not one, but 2 revival plans for Luna. The revival plan number 1 for Luna was to have validators reset the network ownership to 1 billion tokens, and this will be distributed as follows. So 40% of 400 million tokens will be distributed to Luna holders before the depegging event happened, which means that this will be the time before UST depegged and went to 99 cents instead of $1 based on Binance pricing. And people holding on to BLuna, LunaX and Luna in smart contracts will be included into these distributions as well. And the next 40% of tokens will be distributed to UST holders pro rata or prorated at the time of the new network upgrade. 10% of tokens will be given to Luna holders at the final moment of the chain hop, because as validators, having a validator up and supporting the network is something really crucial, and that is what literally supports the blockchain. And the last 10% will go into community pool fund for future development of the projects. But this brought a lot of comments from people who had Luna in different forms and kept on different places. As for me, I have Luna with Lido Finance and also in Astroport. And right now I have no idea what will become of my Luna, except I know that it's worth very little.
My life is worth nothing.
So Luna Revival Plan 1 was launched on the 14th of May, and it was just 4 days later, after looking through the feedback and the possible uproar that the community had, Do Kwon launched a Revival Plan number 2. So Revival Plan number 2 was launched on the 17th of May and is currently the most updated and a living document that will have changes as we go on. And in this proposal, it's more meat than the previous ones, and this is everything that you need to know with proposal plan number 2. So the announcement of the proposal was made on the 17th of May, and we'll have the governance proposal out by the 18th of May, which is today. So Do Kwon mentioned in the proposal that the UST failure to hold peg is Terra DAO's hack moment, which is a chance to rise up anew from the ashes.
Reborn from the ashes.
And so, if and when the proposal goes through, this is what will happen. So Terra will be forked without an algorithmic stablecoin because we know that it has failed badly. And once Terra is forked, it will create 2 different chains. So usually when a fork happens, it's an upgrade, but in this case, in simple terms, it's a splitting of the chains. So when the chain is split or forked, 2 chains will exist. The old one that was compromised will be called Luna Classic with the ticker LUNC, and the new chain will be called Luna. So think of it like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic that had a fork, and thus these 2 tokens exist in the market. So the new Luna tokens will be distributed to the following groups: Luna Classic stakers, Luna Classic holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers for the Terra Classic ecosystem. So if you didn't know, there are already quite some established apps or DApps like Loop, Astroport, Saturn, Alice, Terrascope, Edge, Flipside, Wormhole, Exceler, Risk Harbor, and many more. So these guys will also receive the Luna tokens if the governance proposals go through. And during this fork, TLF or the Terraform Labs wallet will be excluded from the airdrop, which means that the tokens will be fully owned by the community, giving the power back to the holders. Do Kwon will also allocate a large portion of token distribution to provide emergency runway for the existing Terra dApps developers, and to align the interests of the developers with the long-term success of the Terra ecosystem. So the emergency allocation is set at 1% of the total supply of Luna, which is currently 1 billion tokens. And this amount will be distributed to the developers after the network is launched to provide a runway for the product that they are building. But developers have to commit to returning the fund if the product isn't built or done within a year. So the second fund, which is the alignment allocation, will be at 4% of the total supply, which is vested to the dev team that is able to ship or produce a product and show that it has traction in the market. This allocation will be determined by governance and the rule set will be discussed by the community. And lastly, Luna will have a targeted 7% reward staking, which sounds pretty okay right now. But now let's talk about the token distribution, because I think this is where everybody is more interested in, especially for those that have bags of Luna before the Great Depack. With 1 billion max supply, Luna will be split as follows. So 25% will go to the community pool, which is going to be controlled by stake governance. 1% will be set for emergency development fund that we talked about, and 4% for the alignment fund. 35% will be split amongst unbonded and bonded minus the TFL's wallet, and this snapshot is said to be taken pre-attack. But there's more. So for wallets with 1 million or less Luna, there will be a 1-year cliff and a 2-year vesting thereafter. And for wallets with more than 1 million Lunas, there will be a 1-year cliff and a 4-year vesting thereafter. Alright guys, so Future Jorden here. So there are some changes to the revival plan number 2, and hopefully it says updated and final, which I think it will be. So on top of whatever was just mentioned, there will be a pre-attack AUST holders that will get 10% of the token allocation. So this has a 500,000 whale cap, which covers 99.7% of all holders, but which is only 26.72% of AUST. And 15% will be unlocked at Genesis, with 85% vested over 2 years, thereafter with a 6 months cliff. And for post-attack Luna holders, they will receive 10% of the token allocation as well. This includes a staking derivative, so if you are staking in different platforms like Lido, Astropod, you do get some tokens as well with the new Luna. So 15% will be unlocked at Genesis, similar to the AUST holders. And lastly, there is a post-attack UST holders that will receive 20% of the total token supply. So 15% will be unlocked at Genesis, and 85% will be vested over 2 years, thereafter with a 6 months cliff. So hopefully this looks a little bit better right now, but I got no idea what the community thinks about it. Let me know what you feel in the comments down below. So back to past Jorden. So this means that if you want to get a full amount of Luna, you have to be in the long haul with at least 3 to 5 years of waiting time. So now here are some important dates and numbers that you need to know if you are a Luna holder. So we have covered a lot of things like pre-attack snapshot, launch snapshot, and Luna distribution. So the pre-attack snapshot is determined to be at block 7.5,044,914, which is on the 7th of May at around 11 PM GMT plus 8. And the launch snapshot will be the block number 7,790,000, which is the 27th of May at roughly 4 AM GMT plus 8. So you must be wondering, what can we do right now? So depending on your confidence level with the Terra team that is led by Do Kwon, there are a few things that we can do here. But do not take this as financial advice, because I feel that with all these rules in place, it's kind of like inching people to hold Luna right now or even back hold them. So in this case, when people start buying Luna, prices will pump, making things bullish for a short period of time, which could be a bull trap. However, if you're still bullish on Luna, purchasing some Luna right now isn't a bad thing, because with such low prices, we never know if Luna will be able to give us another 10x or maybe a 1000x gain like it did before. But on the other hand, with Do Kwon in the picture, his credibility might not be the best right now because of the Great Depack. But I believe that there will be some hardcore fans who will still purchase and support the Terra ecosystem. No doubt the ecosystem was great, transactions were cheap and fast, and having such a track record is keeping me on the fence. If anything that I will do, I might just put in a small amount of money to just dollar cost average my Luna holdings, and hopefully it will turn into something meaningful. But for those of you with Luna in your exchange, there is still a huge question mark right here, because there was no mention on how or what will happen to this Luna. And I guess that we just have to wait for further instructions or further announcements. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please do me a favor by smashing the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.